Well. Wake up, Web3. You just got JC this morning. I don't know why this does this. This is so dumb. Like, I don't change the video settings, and neither does Reptar. But why does my name get changed every time? And yeah, I think we're gonna make that red today because we're gonna go there, and yeah, it needs to be red. We're deep red today, but that's all right because it's just short lived. Morning, Giro, our Canadian friend. Hey, how's the weather up there? How cold is it? How much snow do you have? They're predicting anywhere from 15 to 24 inches of snow where I live in East Tennessee. So that's a big deal for us. We don't usually get that much snow at a single go. But yeah, we're going to talk today a lot about the World Economic Forum and what's going on there as far as crypto goes. There's a lot of other political nonsense going on there. But we're just going to talk about what's going on in the crypto landscape at the World Economic Forum. Because if you don't know, the World Economic Forum is the annual gathering of all the wealthiest, most influential, most powerful people in the world, including national leaders, but also just the big money holders and the people that really do pull the strings for everything going on in the world. They meet once a year at Davos. They fly their private jets in. They apparently have lots of high-end call girls available because really that's all the rich and powerful do is get together, eat, drink, and yeah. Anyway, before we get off on that rant, we're just going to keep it crypto friendly today. Um, Oh man, negative 31 degree wind chill tonight in Wisconsin. Ugh, that's a no for me, dog. The temperature where I am right now is 21 degrees, which is unusual. Although I did meet, where were we? So we went skiing this past weekend. We drove a couple of hours up to West Virginia and went skiing and met some people up who had traveled up there for the holiday weekend from Florida. And even Florida, the panhandle of Florida, got snow, got flurries over the weekend. So yeah, Kamchatka, Russia. Okay. Yeah, no thanks. Too cold. Too cold. That's one thing I love about where I live. We get all four seasons, but we get them in moderation. Really, it is rare for us to have more than 2 or 3 days below 10 degrees, and rare for us to have days. Um, it's rare for us to have one day over 100, but usually just a few days over the mid 90s is unusual for us. So, you know, anywhere from our normal winter days, high 20s for a low, and anywhere from the low 40s to the low 50s for a high. Yeah, it's warm up there. It's -5. Whatever, man. There is no bad weather, only bad clothing. But I think you're going to feel like Randy from Christmas Story. I can't put my arm down because you have so many layers on. Anyway, back to crypto. That has nothing to do with anything. Let me just get to the bubbles. Good grief. It's one of those days. Here we go. Bubbles, bubbles, my bubbles. Yeah, that's a lot of red. We'll get to the charts here in a minute and you can see. But yeah, red, red, red. Red is the color of blood, blood, blood. Okay. No one understood that reference. Like there's probably 10 people in the world that would get that reference. It's a family thing. Monero down. Actually, you can't see it if I put it over there. Monero down. I don't even know what river is. River Song? Yeah. Don't know. Don't know anything about it. Aave down, ETH down, Bitcoin down, XRP down, hype down. Don't believe the hype. Pump is up. Good. Who cares? ICP is down. Do have a little bit of interesting rumor about ICP. We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. Let's see what. Oh man, down. Let's see what is that? Almost $90. So 14% on the day. Down almost 20% on the week. But still, if you got into it last month, look at that. 415. I don't know. I say if it dips down below 500, it might be a good pickup. Morning, Mr. Gray. Just my personal non-financial advice. Someone did say in our shorts that we should have a disclaimer. Well, our shorts are just clipped from our longer videos. Which, if you do watch the longer videos, we always have the disclaimer that we don't give financial advice. You can see I am literally a dude in my basement. I can say that I passed Econ 101 and 102 some 20-something years ago. But yeah, I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not anything. I'm a dude in my basement that likes crypto. Ice bought some Ondo down at 35. I considered buying the dip. My purchase of Ondo is sitting at 41. I thought about DCAing, but I actually I put in a limit order last night while I was sleeping to pick up some XRP at 192, and it hit last night. We'll see. That's going to be an in and out for me. Once it gets back over 205, 206, I'll probably take the profits on that. Yeah, Bitcoin dropping down towards 90. I also I went ahead and took a loss on my Illivium, probably about a 40% loss. And I just rolled that over into ICP just an hour ago. I'll show you why here in a little bit. But yeah, privacy coins. If you see a good dip, now's a good time. But we'll talk about some stuff here. Let's get to the coin market cap. We'll refresh that just to make sure. Flirting with the 3 trillion market cap again. Fear still. This is so funny to me. Fear still in the neutral category. Like, I don't know. I bet if we go down below 90, if we hit 87, we'll go back down into fear. But I will be interested to see if we Crypto Jeb. I follow him a lot for his technical analysis. He does a lot of if then. Which is, I think, what marks a good analyst is like, hey, here's the numbers. If we bounce, we go up. If we go below and we don't come back up, we go down. Just technical analysis of this is what's happened in the past when we've seen this. So he did predict that he could see if certain things play out, if we don't hold above, 94, but especially 90, if we drop down below 90 and we don't come back up in very short order, he could see Bitcoin going down 75 or less. So, if all of that stuff plays out the way he's predicting that way, then maybe it's good to have a little cash on the side to buy some dips. Otherwise, you're stuck holding. Yeah, people aren't afraid right now. Let's see if I put that on the chat. Oh, I can. Good. You can see here from ICE. People aren't afraid right now. They know the dips are coming due to the tariff threats. But this is operating out of Trump's playbook on tariffs. So I think tariffs are a part of it. I think this Greenland, Denmark talk is part of it. I think the World Economic Forum is part of it. I think the Federal Reserve rates are part of it. All right, let's look. Bitcoin is dumping. Yep, you can see there, 89. Pew! This is the hourly. So let's zoom in here. Looky. See how low it goes while we're sitting here. Yep, just lost 90K. We'll see. It did. It's below 90. If it pops back up, great. I think a daily close is an important indicator. Moment to moment, I could see it playing around. I'm going to look up some other. I don't want to take the Bitcoin thing out, so I'm going to look at some other numbers here. Yep, ETH flirting with 3,000. XRP flirting with 190. Let's see, back down to Link. There's some news on Link I want to show you. Quant is down to 79. H-bar at 10.6 cents. Ondo 33. That's not a bad pickup. Render below 2 is not a bad pickup. Arrow at 47 is not a bad pickup. All right. So yeah, you can see, again, I don't give technical analysis, but I will tell you what other people, the heat map looks like we should be able to long soon. I would be careful doing any kind of day trading. I don't do leverage trading, but yeah, if the numbers, yeah, right. If you like to trade volatility and you have a good grasp of like really short term candles and you understand those, liquidity zones at 91.9 and 92.6. So you might ICE, would you say that's like you're looking for a bounce up to there, like a quick bounce, a quick long up to 91.9, take your profits and then get out? Is that what you're saying? This is for you guys who are watching. This is what he said in the if you're watching on replay. This is what he said here. The heat map. This is heat maps. Looks like we should be able to long soon. And then he added. Sorry. He added. Looks like liquidity zones, guys. If you want to learn that type of trading stuff, I definitely recommend Crypto Jeb. I also like Frankie Candles, who does some really like live technical analysis. Get on their YouTube channels. I think they both have Patreons as well. I know Jeb does a trading course for technical analysis. Yeah. Again, ICE, you're further along than I am. This is just me reading heat map. I'm still learning about all this. Same. I don't worry about the trading stuff, so I don't get into it. But you can see we're back. We dipped below, but now we're back to 90 and 328. If you're into that type of stuff, then you're going to want to look at placing orders, like limit orders. Say, hey, if it drops to this price, buy. That's what I did last night with XRP. If it, you're gonna want to learn how to set a stop loss. You're going to want to learn how to set a limit order, take profit. You need to learn all that stuff. You're not going to learn that from me. I don't know how to do it. But let's see if everything moved up a little bit again. Yeah, this was down to 3,005. XRP back up to 192, was flirting with 190. Yeah, so we're going to play around here. We'll see what happens. If we get some news that breaks, this is we're going to give this a quick hit and see if anything has changed. Nope, still 95% chance of no rate cut in 8 days. Next Wednesday, 95% chance, no rate cut. So that's what markets are factoring in. Need to be aware of that. If something changes, I says I should have longed BTC back above 90.3. Reptar doesn't use stop losses. He just goes 250x leverage. Yeah, but he uses like $40. But hey, if you 250x leverage, that's $1,000. Good luck. I don't do that. I tried it. I tried to learn day trading years ago, and I was great if I hit, if I hit my good entry and I could take profits, I was great. But if the chart didn't play out, like it jumped up and then dipped down, instead of cutting my losses, I would average down and then average down and hope for that pump back up. And it just, that's not the way you play that game. So that's not for me. All right, let's move on to some news real quick. We're going to talk about the World Economic Forum. I'm going to move that second. Move that over here. All right. So this is from Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, who's obviously been in the news lately about the Clarity Act. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. But he is in Davos for the World Economic Forum. He has 3 goals: to talk to world leaders about economic freedom. Guys, these world leaders are not about your economic freedom. They are about their economic power. So good luck. How crypto can update their financial systems. So if you cut that in half, talk to world leaders about economic freedom. They could give 2 flips about economic freedom. But how can crypto update their financial systems to make them more money? Absolutely, they want to hear about it. He wants to continue to push for market structure legislation. Okay. And keep pushing for tokenization to democratize access to capital markets. Now, what the big boys are going to say is, yes, they want everyone to have access to markets so that they can make more money. If it makes them more money, they will allow it. That's what's going to happen there. Thanks, Brian. Keep up the good work. Better than nothing. In the same breath, an hour ago, he says there's a fundamental problem with global wealth creation. Capital markets overwhelmingly benefit the rich. Okay. Working income growth is massively outpaced by capital income. No kidding. Most people are unable to or are priced out from participating in the best financial market. Yeah, that's because they say, you've heard the term accredited investor. That means you have enough money to play the game. I'm just going to leave this here. Yeah. The people with the money make more money, and then eventually it does trickle down to the labor. But by then, yeah, you're let's see, your salary goes up 20%, even though prices have gone up 60%. But hey, you got a raise, right? That's good. Yeah. All right, from Marty Party, whoever that is, Marty Party Music. This is just something that we need to talk about because this was just announced at the World Economic Forum. The government of Bermuda, yeah, it's a small government, but has officially unveiled plans to become the world's first fully on-chain national economy. This is they're going to be a test case, and that's what the big boys do. They let somebody else be a test case. But they did partner with Coinbase and Circle, who issues USDC, to integrate blockchain and digital assets into everyday financial infrastructure costs. Okay, this is important. They want the economy to be fully on chain, widespread use, blockchain tokenization. Like this is a test run. This is a test run. If it works, the big boys will allow it to be used in larger economies. Coinbase is helping. And why is Coinbase helping? Two things can be true at the same time. I do believe that Brian Armstrong and Coinbase's goal is to make money more fair, more democratized across the world. That benefits them because they make money on these transactions. Both things can be true. You can be looking to do something good for everyone and also make money for doing something good. We'll see if that holds out. We'll see. So this is via official statements from Bermuda's government. Okay, we're bringing our entire country on chain. Like I said, proof of concept. Look, see, I made this conclusion before I even got there. Ta-da! So we are seeing movement on crypto and blockchain. Crypto and blockchain will change the world. Whether or not we get to come along and have life altering wealth and personal financial sovereignty remains to be seen. But crypto and blockchain are going to change the world in the same way that internet changed the world. This is something, yay, I want to point this out for all of you XRP Army and H Barbarians. If you'll look here at the USA House Davos 2026 platform, you'll see 2 crypto companies listed. That's it. You'll see Microsoft, you see Pfizer, you see Qualcomm, Ripple, and Hedera. That's the only 2 cryptos on the USA House Davos 2026 platform. Maybe those might, in the future, be good infrastructure-based blockchain projects that will succeed. Just maybe. All right, here we go. From Steph's Crypto, the World Economic Forum lists Ripple as real-time payment. I'll give you a second to look at that. If you want to look at it, fine. I don't think I can. Let's see if I do this, if it makes it bigger for you. Nope, it did not. So if I come over here, if I do that, there we go. So if you're driving, I'll give you what this is from the World Economic Forum presentation. Payments, decentralized and non-traditional payment schemes. Scenario 2, incumbent institutions facilitate alternative payment schemes as components. Here's the narrative. You can see their bank accounts and authentication. You have alternative rails. This, if you can't see it on the screen there, the A is the initial sender, and the money goes to bank accounts in the traditional providers. That's this part here. Or you can do alternative rails to get it to the end recipient. The end recipient can then put it in savings, remittance, or payments. This, you see the arrow, there's the flow of money. blue is traditional providers, and the red lines are alternative providers. I just want to give you the brief thing here on the narrative. As the popularity of decentralized and other non-traditional payment schemes grows with customer segments, incumbent institutions make it easier for their customers to transfer value into and out of alternative rails. The big boys, the traditional banks, need to make it easier. Laws have been passed, or regulations, it's not laws, it's regulations approved by the SEC and the CFTC to allow banks to hold crypto and digital assets and allow their customers easy access in and out. So that's being done. So gradually, these institutions leverage their current products and capabilities to begin playing a greater role as a gateway to non-traditional payment network rails and financial products denominated in alternative currencies. For example, a Bitcoin-denominated bank account. Let me say that again. For example, a Bitcoin-denominated bank account. Your bank will hold your Bitcoin for you. Now, they will do with your Bitcoin what they do with your dollar. They will loan it out and they will make a return, which is why the banks paid their mouthpieces in the Senate to slide in amendments to the Clarity Act saying decentralized platforms and stablecoins cannot give yield. The banks want themselves to be the only people that have access to yield so that they can take the yield and then trickle you your 0.1%. Now, alternatively, incumbent institutions could adopt non-traditional schemes as an internal settlement rail to improve efficiency and customer experience. So this is a both and. They can use it for themselves, which we've seen, like JP Morgan is creating their own stablecoin for their internal movement of money. And then they can have, traditional crypto. I say traditional crypto, like that is still a non-traditional alternative rail. They can have that on their books for their customers, but they can also use blockchain internally for themselves. But you can see down here at the bottom, the case studies done with Fider Bank or Fedor Bank, I don't know. But you see right here, Ripple. If usage of the Ripple protocol were to expand to other banks, it could easily be used for real-time payment and settlement between these institutions with no automated clearinghouse or correspondent banks required. That gets into this idea of, what is it, Nostra Vostra, our money, where if you want to trade, like if you are a bank and you want to allow customers in different countries to trade money, you have to hold equal amounts of both of those actual currencies in your bank, or at least on your bank sheet. But let me give you an example of what they're talking about here about the Ripple protocol were to expand to other banks. If JP Morgan banks and Bank of America each have their own internal stablecoin for moving money in their system, and it's pegged to the US dollar, for example, USDC, for example, or in this case, Ripple protocol would be RLUSD. So RLUSD is pegged to the US dollar, 1-to-1, based on requiring to buy treasuries, etc. All those rules. Not the point. You're on the Ripple protocol. So they're using the XRP ledger to create, I'm going to call it JP coin and Bank of America coin. They're trading those inside their systems. But obviously JP Morgan does not want Bank of America token, and Bank of America does not want JP token. But they need to send money back and forth because, hey, guy, business A at Bank of America needs to pay business B who is at JP Morgan. So they go convert Bank of America token on a 1-to-1 to RLUSD or to XRP or whatever they're getting. It's probably RLUSD. They go, okay, we're going to use convert on a 1-to-1 because it's pegged Bank of America token to RLUSD. Then we're going to send RLUSD to my other business on JP Morgan, and that's going to be converted 1-to-1 RLUSD to JP token. That doesn't require a clearinghouse to go, okay, well, you hold the correct amount of Bank of America token and you hold the correct amount of JP token, so you guys can just swap that and we'll fix the books. It's just automatically done, and that means it doesn't take an hour or a day or a week. It takes half a second. What does that do for the ease of money across the world? That's what this is talking about. Okay, everybody got that? That's my quick and dirty version. Everybody likes it quick and dirty, right? All right, moving on. I want to talk very briefly about some of the negative aspects of blockchain that these powerful people are going to use. Queen Maxima, she's literally the Queen of the Netherlands, is speaking at the World Economic Forum's Davos. Digital ID is necessary not only for financial services, but also for determining who is and isn't vaccinated, school enrollment, and the receipt of government subsidies. They will use digital ID to track everything all the time. Not like, oh, hey, we want to make sure that you're, you're, if you're sending crypto, we want to make sure you're not money laundering because you're a criminal organization and you're not paying, for drugs or weapons or anything like that. Because, let's be frank, crypto can do that. But you know what? It pales in comparison to the US dollar currently, as far as what currency is being used, because dollar bills, once you take them out of a bank, are non-traceable. Anyway, that's a different rant. But she wants to use your digital ID to add onto it, and it's a blockchain. Obviously, it would be a non-fungible token. Your digital ID is unique to you, but it can be edited to include your vaccination status, if and when and where you are enrolled in what schools. It can be used to track all of, if you have to, just think about it, if you have a digital ID and you have to sign in to your school every day, that's tracked. That is data that goes on your digital ID, and it can be tracked and monitored. Oh, by the way, you probably are going to have to link your social media accounts to your digital ID. Oh, and if you want to be on that social media platform, you have to log in using your digital ID. Just like now, if you want to verify yourself on X, you have to have a phone number, you have to have an email, you have to, in essence, prove who you are. This is only going to get more and more the case. And if you have to prove who you are, then it's tracked. All data will be tracked in real time. Receipt of government subsidies. Are you getting financial assistance from the government, either as an individual or a business? Well, that's going to be tied to that digital ID so that it can be tracked. Does that help catch criminals? Sure, if they wanted to. Does it help track people like in the UK, where if you dare say, hey, doing things to little girls is bad, they should be in jail? Guess what? You're going to prison because you said something bad on social media. So that's the danger of blockchain. That's in any technology throughout the history of time can be used for good or evil. And there are people that will use it for evil in order to either gain or maintain their own wealth, status, power. There. Does that rant speak to anybody? Let me know in the comments if you think I'm just a freaking tinfoil conspiracy theory. I need to get a tinfoil hat and just put it on. Let's see if I got anything else on Davos before. All right. Nope. All right. Moving on from the World Economic Forum. This is from the SEC chair, not the secretary chair, the SEC chair, Paul Atkins. Apparently, I'm not going to listen and talk. I just was. So the market structure bill is ready to pass. That is good news. If they've dropped this whole only banks can earn yields, that's good news. I thought this was an interesting chart. It's one I haven't seen before, but I think it. We talk a lot about Raoul Pal and his everything code, and really just it's the money, the inflow and outflow of money, and the money cycle and the debt refinancing. We've talked about it ad nauseum, but I wonder, this is the liquidity cycle that is. Where did he pull this from? So this is the balance sheets of assets, total assets. Less than okay for the 1 day, the Federal Reserve. I'm not sure, but you can see here he's laying it out. You can't. Let me move this so you can see the whole chart. Um, so you can see here the quantitative tightening, quantitative easing, quantitative tightening, and now we're rolling into. They have announced quantitative. They're calling it something else. It doesn't matter. They're injecting money into the cycle. Okay. Now you can see here Ethereum and Bitcoin. It says Ethereum to Bitcoin, doesn't it? But this is the money flow. This is Ethereum to Bitcoin. It follows pretty nicely. I found that to be an interesting chart. Let's see. This is another adoption thing that I wanted to talk about. This is just news for you to be. Toheeb, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us in the morning. New York Stock Exchange, 24/7 US. They just announced, a few weeks ago, 24/5 US stock trading through new on-chain tokens. So now you can trade the New York Stock Exchange 24/7 with on-chain tokenized exchange. Tokenization. Do you know the last word for NFT is token? That, like, digital pictures were the test market. How do non-fungible tokens work? Okay, cool. Now that we know how they work, now that we know how to design them, now that we've seen some of the ways that they can be, good and bad, now we're going to put things on chain. And that leads me to this. Here you go, Ice. I'm going to leave that there and wait for Ice to comment. Now, this is interesting. While I'm waiting on Ice, I want to point something out. So you can see in the live chat, if you're watching, Mark, aka Ice, says, but Reptar doesn't use stop losses. He goes 250x leverage. Then he says, true. And then Mr. Gray says, very true, JC. They don't want the peasants to have any power. You can see that on the YouTube live chat. However, if I'm over here, because I can see the live chat on my Restream page, I don't see Mr. Gray's comment. I can't, like, you can see, I can show this, but Reptar doesn't use stop losses. I can show this, true. The next comment I have on Restream is Toheeb's comment. I can't share Mr. Gray's comment. That's interesting. There you go, Ice. New York Stock Exchange using Chainlink. $24/7 stock, 32 on chain. Let's go to the daily. Oh, 12. Hey, Pup. You guys want to see Pup? Here's Pupperoni. He wants to play ball. It's my puppers. One of my puppers. He says good morning. You see Waggy Tail. He's my fluff monster. He's like, get off. Come play ball with me. I know, buddy. Sorry, gotta pet the pup. He's a good baby. Alrighty, let's go to the weekly. Wow, look at that. When is that? Oh, can't see because it's got that stupid AI link. All right, here we go. That's December of 24. That's the week of December 16th in 2024. Interesting. If we zoom out. I hate this page because it doesn't. If there's the week, let's do the monthly. Ooh, all-time highs. 52. Look at that. So that's a monthly candle. In 1 month, J-Link went from $15 low. So it opened at 38, dropped to 15, and then ran to 52 in 1 month. Wow. 52 from here is 4x. Just saying. It's not financial advice. It's just an observation. All right, I want to hit this. President Trump has formally nominated Kevin Hassett, who is a crypto bull from Broken Whale Soul. He's market friendly, pro growth, Fed leadership, and liquidity expectations rise. He will definitely. I'm guessing one of the reasons Trump likes him is he would be dropping rates. This says fake news. Yep. Don't know. Would be nice to get good old Jerome out of the freaking way. But he's just the chair. He just he's not. He doesn't run the bank. He doesn't own the Fed. The Fed is a private bank. He's just the mouthpiece. All right. And one last thing for you. Party hats ICP. Don't know if this has any validity. Anybody got anything to add on that? ICP partnering with Apple. You guys been watching the show for a while, know that we've talked about ICP. We have shorts about ICP. We have videos about ICP. We like ICP. You do you. I slid a little bit of my extra cash into ICP this morning. ICP's been on a tear. Let's go back here and look. Rank number 41. But you can see, been on a tear. Recently went from $3 all the way up to $4.65. It is now back down to $3.73, almost down $1 from where it was just last week. But you can see, this is just days. November of 2025. And if we zoom all the way out, yeah, I don't see that happening. 225, probably not. At least not for a good long while. But do we get back up to here? In the grand scheme of things, do we get back up to here? I think that's reasonable. $20 is reasonable. Do we get back up to here? Here's the peak of here. $15, $16? Heck yeah. Do we get back up to $10 where we were just a few weeks ago? Yeah. $10 is roughly a 3x from here. What was their launch price? All right, let me go back here and look. On this chart, it opened at $225. I can check and see. ICP, ICO price. Pre-sale, $457. Seed rounds. Seed rounds is where you make your money, boys. Pre-sale is not bad either. It's launched in May 2021, so massive price swings reaching over $700, but currently trades in the $3 to $4 range. There you go. All right, boys and girls. That's what I've got for you today. That's the news that I found to be important. There's other stuff going on. If you don't want to keep your eyes and ears on, I totally understand because it's pretty boring right now. We're just watching crypto be volatile. We're watching people manipulate stuff. We'll try and keep our finger on the pulse. We'll try and give you the news that we find interesting or fun or informative. Information that's informative. Yeah, good job. Words tough. Me speak gooder. But hope you have a happy Tuesday. I got to go hit the gym because I ate like crap all weekend. And I'm going to go prepare. I need to go get bread and milk because that's what we do in the South. When it's a threat of snow, we have to go take every bit of bread and milk and bottled water off the shelves of our grocery store for snow that might hinder us from leaving the house for 36 hours. So I need to go get 3 months worth of food. I will talk to you later. Have a great Tuesday. Chomp, chomp.